All right, everyone, buckle up. We're about to take a deep dive into something, well, visually stunning today.
It really is quite something.
We're switching gears a bit, focusing on just one artwork, Pierre Auguste Cot's Springtime. But, don't mistake this for a simple art history lesson. Oh, no.
Not at all.
This painting, my friend, sparked joy for some, serious debate for others, and it gives us this, like, I don't know, a glimpse into how people viewed love and beauty way back in, get this, 1873.
It's a fascinating time capsule, really.
It really is. Okay, so imagine this. Sun shining, dappled light through some trees. You've got a young couple on a swing, her dress, white, billowing all around them. And he's looking right at her, holding her hand, their hands intertwined. I mean, you just get swept up in it, don't you? What's your first thought when you see it?
The thing that always strikes me is how springtime kind of sits at this intersection of, well, two massive art movements happening at the time, realism and romanticism. So on the one hand, you have almost shockingly realistic details, how the light hits the leaves. You can practically feel the texture of their clothes. But then there's this undeniable romantic layer from the pose, the way they're looking at each other, to
Wow.
the setting itself. It's idyllic.
Totally. That's what got me too. This blend. How'd Cott pull that off visually? What are the techniques here?
It's really masterful. He uses light and his brushstrokes to create that dreamy, romantic atmosphere while still keeping those realistic details crisp. Like, notice how the light seems to, like, bathe the couple in this almost, I don't know, ethereal glow.
Mm.
And the way the brushstrokes soften certain edges, it creates a sense of movement and emotion, like a captured moment.
It does feel like a dream, doesn't it? You can practically feel the warm sun and the swing swaying gently. But then, and maybe this is just me, this level of perfection, it makes you wonder if this was really how people saw love back then. Like, was it always so picture perfect?
You've hit on probably the biggest point of contention around springtime. Coetzee, he was famous for these idyllic scenes, always focusing on innocent love, beauty, being out in nature.
Right.
But while it was popular, springtime really sparked debate about how love was being portrayed. Was this real, or was this Coe giving people an escape, an ideal to strive for, instead of, showing the realities of the time? I mean, imagine reading art criticism that called it too perfect alongside those praising its beauty.
Yeah.
Wild, right?
A divided audience indeed. So it wasn't just like how pretty springtime was that captivated people, but also what it said about love back then.
Exactly. And don't miss the symbolism Cat's woven into all this. I mean, those flowers, that vibrant green everywhere. That's not just pretty background. It's all connected to the title Springtime, representing, sure, the literal season, but also the springtime of their relationship. It's about new beginnings, youth, love that's just blossoming.
So much in one image. It's amazing.
That's art for you. It can transport us, bring us joy, and sometimes, yeah, it even challenges us to think differently.
Speaking of challenging perceptions, as we wrap up here, any final thoughts on how we should look at springtime today in our, well, very different world?
That's a good question. I think the real question springtime poses to us now is, how would this scene be different if Colin were painting it today? Would the clothes be different? Their expressions? Would he even choose the same setting? How much has our view of love, of beauty, even of nature itself, how much has that changed since 1873? That's something I'd love for everyone to consider. It gives a whole new meaning to one painting.